Well, hello there. Another NASCAR weekend, another YouTube review. This weekend, all three NASCAR series were at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we're going to take a look at the first weekend where we can really tell who is going to be standing out for most of the season, because it was the first real mile and a half. So obviously, these races were not as good as Daytona and Atlanta were. Excuse me. The truck race, congratulations to Rajah Caruth getting his first career Truck Series win, becoming the third African American to win in NASCAR in any series in NASCAR, following Wendell Scott and Bubba Wallace. I'm rooting for Rajah this year, and now that he's locked into the playoffs, great win for him. Tyler Ankrum, I forgot who was in the 18 in the trucks for a second. Tyler Ankrum ends up in second. Corey Heim in third. Taylor Gray in fourth. Christopher Bell, who was in the one truck for Tricon, ends up in fifth. Christian Eckes in sixth. Matt Crafton in seventh. Zane Smith in the 91 for Bill McAnally in eighth. Grant Enfinger in ninth. Tom Majeski in 10th. Kyle Busch, who was in the 7 for Spire like he was at Atlanta, had a speeding penalty and ended up finishing in 15th. He was running top 5 for most of the race. Another notable, Nick Sanchez, who was up front towards the end, ended up 17th. I don't know how. DNFs for Bailey Curry, Dean Thompson, and Matt Mills. They all had some issues. The Xfinity race yesterday, John Hunter Nemechek, who isn't running full time this year, who was in the 20 for the third straight race, gets the win. Cole Custer ends up in second. Chandler Smith in third. Austin Hill in fourth. Those Gibbs cars are really quick on Saturday. Riley Herbst in fifth. AJ Allmendinger in sixth. Ryan Sieg in seventh. Sammy Smith in eighth. Brandon Jones in ninth. And Justin Allgaier in 10th. Other notables, Eric Almirola, who was running part-time this year between the 20 and the 19 for Joe Gibbs, was in the 19 this weekend, ends up in 12th. Corey Heim in his first Xfinity start of the year ends up in 13th in the 26th. And how about Hailie Deegan, ends up 15th at the same track she made her Xfinity Series debut at last year. They're pretty impressive. DNFs, Sheldon Creed, he fell off. The two Jordan Anderson cars, Parker Retzlaff and Sage Karam, had some issues. Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, had an engine failure, and I don't know what happened to Sam Mayer. I wasn't watching. I really did not watch much of the Xfinity race, but I don't know what happened to Sam Mayer. Never found out. Now we get into the main event today, the Pennzoil 400, which finished about, 4 hours ago? And no surprise, a Hendrick car wins on a mile and a half. And no surprise, it's Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson flat out dominated today's race. I don't remember where he started. Oh, he started second. And he won stage 1, he won stage 2, he won the race. Basically how he dominated in the spring race in 2021. Actually, in both races in 2021. But yeah, Kyle Larson had a bit of a little challenge at the end from Tyler Reddick. Reddick was really quick. He was the faster car at the end. But Larson did a great job blocking out. I mean, I didn't want Larson to win, but he had the fastest car. He dominated it. He deserved to win. What are you going to do? But yeah, Tyler Reddick ends up in second. Ryan Blaney in third. Ross Chastain, who started the final restart, which was with 30 to go on 2 tires, with 2 fresh tires, and still ended up finishing fourth. Ty Gibbs ends up fifth. Noah Gragson in the 10 ends up in 6th. He went from 13th to 5th on the final restart, and he was flying, but he fell back to 7th, able to work his way back up to 6th. Great run for Gregson. So, Martin Truex Jr. ends up in 7th. Denny Hamlin in 8th. Joey Logano, who started on the pole, finally something good happens, ends up in 9th. He started on the front row every race this season. DNF'd at Daytona, DNF'd at Atlanta, and now here, top 10 at Las Vegas. And then William Byron, who was very quick early in the race, had a bunch of debris, a big trash bag on the grill, which set him back a lot, but comes back to finish 10th. Good job for him. Other notable, Kyle Busch, who was running around the top 5 the entire race. Around the final restart, final caution, got a speeding penalty, just like he did in the truck race, never came back, back from it. He restarted 30th in the final race. He ends up 26th. Also, making his Cup Series debut, Derek Kraus, who was in the 16 for Calling this week, ends up 28th. He wasn't really a factor. So Calling has had 3 different drivers to start the season. They had AJ Allmendinger in the 16 for the Daytona 500. They had Josh Williams in the 16 last week at Atlanta. And they had Derek Kraus in the 16 today at Las Vegas. I'm pretty sure Derek Kraus will be in the 16 next week at Phoenix. I really don't know, but we'll see what happens. Other notables, Corey LaJoie, who surprisingly running top 15, top 10 for a lot of the races, ended up crashing out. Christopher Bell, who started around the top, who started pretty well, blew a tire on lap 10, brought the first caution, rallied his way back inside the top 10, and then spun out and never recovered. Bubba Wallace, he was also in my lineup. I don't know what happened to Bubba Wallace. He finished like 12 laps down. I really don't know what happened to him. Zane Smith had another tire go down, and I don't think he finished. And then Chris Buescher slapped the wall, lost the tire, slapped the wall. He slapped the wall so hard that the wall had to be fixed. And there was a red flag. That was the only red flag of the race. So Chris Buescher, I believe, was the only car who didn't finish. It's pretty weird, pretty crazy. I give Las Vegas an 8 out of 10. The restarts were pretty hectic. The battles were pretty good. But not really that much of an exciting finish. No multi-car incidents. Since it was a pretty all-around decent Las Vegas race. So, tune in next week when the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Phoenix Raceway. Hey, for the first of 2 races there. They'll be in Phoenix in November for the championship finale, and they'll be in Phoenix next week. So, I don't know my pick to win yet. I have to do some research before I make my picks. So this is Ross Belkin signing off after a pretty decent NASCAR weekend at Las Vegas. And yeah, see you next time.